He didn't look at Zileza. Yo, me, I'm coming to condemn you. You're a sinner. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, karibu sana. For those who are not, welcome back again. And my name is Terry, for those who don't know me, and my content is based on beauty. Get ready with me, and it's all around beauty with Christ. So we'll be posting about Christ every Saturday, and today is episode 2. Let me just call them episodes because why not? I got my car. See how small it is? Yeah, my eye pencil. And I'm just going to start off with my eyebrows. So last week we were talking about Philippians 4:13, self-sufficiency. For those who have not watched the video, please go back. It's my last previously video on Saturday, and you will see it. I'll put the link down below so that you can be able to access it. So I've been really deep in the word, going on a deeper level, and I read Revelations 3:20, and it says he stands at the door, he knocks. Whoever, any man who shall open the door, he will come in and dine with them and fellowship with them, and there is a reward to it. Actually, it's whoever who will win the victory. Okay, whoever shall overcome, who will sit right by my throne. That's Jesus. So he's at the door knocking. Anyone who will come, who will welcome him in, he will dine with them, abiding in him, abiding in you. So that's what he does. When you want to dig deeper, on a deeper level, it's kind of brings back to how much room do you have for him? How much time do you have for him? You know, how much attention do you give him? If he's there, ding, 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 and you're not opening the door, like, is your house like fully occupied with other things? Like your mindset and whatever that's loaded up in your spirit, like you keep on feeding your spirit, is too full, or you're too full of yourself, too full of other things in this world, that you don't have space for him. When do you have time for him? When do you pray? When do you read the Bible? Like, when do you praise? When do you talk about him? And when do you listen? When does he talk to you? Do you have that time? Ama kila siku ni kuamka tu na kuenda kufanya kazi, kurudi kwako, kupika, kusikiza ngoma, watch movie, and you call it a day? Like, how void is that life if you keep on having the same routine, and what you get from what you're feeding yourself with, other people's words, other people's creativity and all that? Like, when will you have the original thing? When will you have the Holy Grail speaking? When will you have the, you know, the beginning and the end? Because he knows everything. When do you have that time? I feel we are the ones who are supposed to be like searching for him, and here he is right at your doorstep, delivering everything, the way, the truth, and the life, delivering at your doorstep. But do you have space? And do you even desire for him to come in? You know, unajua sometimes ukiwa hata na mgeni, ni mtu mwenye umekuwa umeambia sukujeko tafadhali, ukae hata 1 week. You know, normally in the African way, we actually don't wait for invitations, we just come in. But it would be something that you have talked about. Wacha tutakuja ka sleepover or something, you know, or there's a bash happening and you invite people, and when they come, like, you accommodate them in a good way. So that's what it is. So when you look at the story of Zacheus, the tax collector, This guy was literally the worst person you could ever meet. People didn't like him. They're like, you take our money, and actually he wasn't taking it for the right reasons. Like he would overtax people, you know. My point is, this guy used to do things illegally. Like corruption was the real deal for him. And people were actually aware of it, and they sidelined him, you know. And this one time, Jesus decides, he was just passing by, but this guy was like, I want to see this guy. And Zacheus was short in stature, and he's like, wacha nipande mti. Let me just climb a tree so that I can be able to see Jesus. So he goes up a tree to be able to see him. Then Jesus is like, Zacheus, calm down. Calm down, because I must stay in your house today. And this little guy just climbs down. He's like joyful that, hey, you know that kind of feeling when you see a celebrity and they notice you. Like, yeah. Zacheus was in that moment. He was like, yes, because he received Jesus joyfully and gladly. And in that process, as they were dining in the house, other people, the holier than thous, wako hapo wakifikiria, how do you just dwell with a sinner? This guy just goes into a sinner's house. Ajumsi amekuwa kitutax hapa illegally. Then Zacheus was just in a happy mood. I don't think he ever even thought of this guy. He's like, yo, mimi niko na celeb kwa hao, you know. And in that joyful manner, he was like, God, hii pesa yenye nimeiba nitaenda kupatia the poor. This money, I'm going to give half of it to the poor. And Jesus was happy and glad because he dined with that guy, and he said, salvation has come to this house because this one has proven to be a descendant of Abraham. So what I got from that story is that, first of all, this guy was desiring to know Jesus Christ. He had a desire to see him. He had that willingness, like that catharsis ya kujua, who is Jesus Christ? I want to see Jesus Christ. And he went all the way to climb a tree just to see him because of his small stature. And there was a limitation there, and he felt like limited to reach out to him or to see him. He's limited to see who that is. So he goes up in his own way and climbs the tree. When he's up the tree, I hope you're getting this. When he's up the tree, Jesus tells him, calm down. Meet me here. Hapa kwa ground. Tupatane kwa ground. I must dwell in your house today. And this guy wasn't, mbona nishuke? Si nimesha kuona. Suzidi. No. He came down joyfully to receive Jesus Christ in his house. And I'm still struggling with this. And in the process, hold on. Okay, there, done. So in the process, he goes and receives him joyfully. But people are not happy. People are like, what? You go to his house? Like, yo, unaendaje kwa nyumba ya huyu mtenda dhambi? How can you go to this sinner's house? He'd be stealing our money and all. But Zacheus didn't even care about that. Neither did Jesus. So in the house, that is when they have this one-on-one moment. In the house, Zacheus says, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give half the money And for everyone, of course, said, you know what, I'm going to pay back 4 times. I'm going to make things right. He was making things right out of the joy of seeing Jesus Christ. And Jesus was happy about that. He didn't look at Zileza, yo, me, I'm coming to condemn you, you're a sinner. He looked at what the future of this guy was looking like. He was going to pay back everything he stole, and he was going to make things right. And Jesus was, salvation has come to you. For salvation is for the ones who are lost. So in this story, what gets me, like really gets me, is that in the Bible, when you look at was it Romans 10? Yeah, Romans 10. My wings look crooked right now, so I'm gonna put on foundation. Romans 10, Paul writes about how salvation came through, and this salvation was for the Jews, yeah, who ended up like rejecting and did not hear and did not see, like, yo, Jesus is knocking. They did not see that. Whew, this one always gets me. They did not see that. And what does God do? He's there for the Gentiles as well. Those who literally don't know him, like they're lost completely. Like they've never heard of God, Jesus Christ, nothing. Holy Spirit, they know nothing, like zero. So this ones seek him, and they find him, and they get the salvation. So he came for everyone. And in this story of Zacheus, what I get from it is how, like, you deal with negativity and you deal with rejection and all that. Best believe, even the Bible said, the world rejected me, and so it will reject you. Like, you will go through the tribulations. This world is not ours, but be cheerful. I have overcome the world. That's what Jesus Christ told his disciples in John 16. I don't think like there's anyone who has never faced rejection, even from own family members, and for people that you trusted in, they ended up backstabbing you. So you feel the hurt and the pain that's within, and you put a wall, like, to block every hurt and every pain that will come across again, because you don't want to go through that. Actually, in heartbreaks, woo, character development. In that character development stature, it's you personally have your own weaknesses, and they use those weaknesses against you, and that's why you put a wall. And in this, you put a wall, you put a defense mechanism, you create your own way to protect yourself. And according to Zacheus' story, it's more of he's a short, that's his physical being and his stature. He's a short person. You might be a high-tempered person, you might be an insecure person, whichever the weakness is. Like that, there is that something that you have put in yourself and think that is what defines you. So because he's short, what does he do? So that he can see Jesus, climbs a tree so that he may be able to see Jesus. And in that manner, that speaks to me of pride and having your own ways to do things, having your own ways to satisfy your own needs and desire, because Zacheus' desire was to see Jesus Christ, and that is what he did. He climbed a tree to see him. And we have those two desires that we personally have, and we find ways to achieve it in our own way. But what do? We just achieve that. Okay, we just achieve that. We don't achieve the whole picture and the whole plan that God has for us. So when Jesus asks Zacheus to come down, meeting him at the level ground is just to show him that I'm also here, humble. You know what? You can find me where here down. Don't worry about your height, don't worry about anything. I will accept you just the way you are. Just come down. I must dwell in you. You know what? He must dwell in you. I'm gonna preach today, sis. Hold up. I must fix this liner first, because you can't be preaching with a crooked liner wing. So I must dwell in your house today. He will come in your house, whether you're a sinner or not, whether you're struggling or not, whether your weakness is being high-tempered or not, whether your weakness is having impatience or not, whether your weakness is looking ugly or not. So he will dwell, he will accept you, he will come in. Let's go. I must. And he says, I must. I mean, and in that place, Zacheus found joy because he felt accepted. He felt, yo, this guy of high caliber, of what I've heard of him, of the miracles and signs, and he comes to stay, and he must with me, a sinner. He didn't know, he knew what he was doing, he says, but he's like, you want to stay with me? Okay, I'm gonna come down. Yeah. And in the dining, like, you get that kind of truth, first of all, and the way to go about it, and you finally have the life, because he's the way, truth, and life. And in that process, as you literally let go of your wall, defense mechanism, of your heart, of your pain, of your offenses, of your rejection, and sometimes you reject even yourself, you know, you don't even take care, you don't love yourself or anything, you're just there. Go do. So Zacheus from that point started seeing life in a different way. And that is a short version of what we've been told in the Bible, but you can imagine what conversation they were having at that time that made Zacheus turn around and say, you know what, I'm gonna give this money to the poor. The money I've stolen, I'm gonna return it back 4 times. Like, it just became life-changing for him, and that is what pleased God. Like, he was so happy about it. He was like, yeah, you're doing my will now. And that is where we are right now in our state of life. Like, hey, we are going through it for sure. We are going through it. And in most cases, you feel like depressed, and you feel life apana, and you feel like you're down, and you feel like the rejection. And sometimes the rejection comes from the people we trust most and the people we love most, from family, like close family members, from your own pastor even, and you feel like this one, I'm gonna draw a line. And all this happened for our good, that we may climb that tree first of all, go to the process of climbing down, because there is Jesus Christ accepting us and embracing us, and we have that conversation, and we start making things right, and we make things right through him. He's the way, the truth, and the life. And when I read Revelations 3:20, like, that Zacheus story now clicked when he says, I am knocking at the door. And I feel it's that season where when he's knocking, don't be hard-headed, don't stay there, like, welcome him in. If there are things you have to empty out, just like how Zacheus climbed down the tree. If there are things you have to let go of, every offenses, like, forgive and forget. Oh my God, the pain is too much on you, you cannot bear it. Just let it go, forgive and forget. If you're in that state and you feel like I cannot let this go, then tell Jesus Christ to help you. Like, welcome him in. He can do declutter for you in a very good way. And I have like a home. So if you're in that kind of state right now, just know he's knocking at the door. You just have to hear his voice and let go. He speaks with love, he speaks with peace, he speaks with stillness, and you'll be like, God damn. So just let go and let him, you know, let go and let him, and you'll start finding joy just like Zacheus did. You'll start finding joy in him. So yeah, that's it, and I've not even finished. Let me finish this first. When he's knocking at that door, open it. Yeah, because we are going in a space where it's gonna get worse. Yeah, it's gonna get worse in the world, but it's gonna get better in Christ. And he says it. The world will not be a good place for you. The world will be bad for you. The world will make you suffer. Just believe. The world will make you suffer. And if you're in him, you don't have to worry, because he says, do not worry, I have overcome the world. Trust him. When you hear his voice, trust him. Trust him to guide you. Trust him as Zacheus did when he said, come down that tree, I must dwell in your house today. Zacheus trusted him, came down even though he was short, even though he was stealing, even though all that. And he came down and he met Christ down there. He's coming to your level. Meet him also there in his level. And he's a humble God. Humility is what he preaches us. He's almighty yet humble. So go down there, meet with him, talk to him, find joy in receiving him, find joy in him receiving you, and fellowship with him. And for sure, when that victory is won, because those are walls that you're gonna have to bring down, those are rights, wrongs that you're gonna have to make right. If you like this video, make sure you get a thumbs up over there, and if you want, you can leave a comment on what you want me to do next. But yeah, let's continue trusting God in everything, and he loves you. God bless you. Bye.